Bonjour, Anin, Nia Nadezhnikoskinikwe Makwadodem, Alderville Donjaba. Speaking in the sovereign language of my traditional territory, I come from the Bear Clan, a protector clan, a medicine clan, and my role and responsibility to my community is to protect it for the next 7 generations. The great-great-great-great-grandchildren that I will never see, the faces that I will never meet, we are responsible for every step we take today. I want to remind each and every one of you that your first environment was a woman. We are water carriers, we carry life, and we are sacred. And the safest place on earth is the womb of our mother. And sadly, it's not the safest place anymore. Our ceremonies and our lodges speak to the importance of that sacredness of our womb and our mother and where we come from. And unfortunately, we are being polluted before we are even coming to this earth. So as a mother and a life giver, and Ogichadakwe, a warrior woman, what am I doing for my community? I visit Aamjiwnaang First Nation. My beautiful sister is the chief, Janelle Namaben. This is her schoolyard. This is where she grew up. Our daycare sits in a chemical valley in Aamjiwnaang First Nation. This is responsible for 40% of all of the chemical production across Canada comes from Aamjiwnaang First Nation. Their community is being poisoned, and we have to do something about what's happening in that community. I met with 2 beautiful knowledge keepers, Beezy Gray, Vanessa Gray, who do toxic tours of the community, and they teach people about what's happening. And they said the impact of chemical pollution in their community has been their whole lifetime, of seeing the smokestacks burning, the plumes in the sky, the smells, the prickle on your skin, the difficulty in breathing, and this sludge that forms in the waterways around the community. And they've been criminalized and they've been villainized by industry and by government for speaking out. And it's really important that our young ones are inheriting what's happening, and so we have to provide the solutions for them. In our communities, this is what they see every day. This is what they see in their nation. And it's not only happening in Aamjiwnaang First Nation. Industry comes into our communities and they tell us to be thankful for what they're doing. They tell us that there's benefits to what they're doing. But the detrimental health effects and harm that's being created by industry will never equal to whatever they think this benefit is to our communities. Our communities are dying. We know that. Industry is killing our communities and we can't sugarcoat it anymore. So it's my role and responsibility to speak to that. And it's not only happening in Aamjiwnaang, it's happening all across Turtle Island, all across the world. We shut down INEOS in Aamjiwnaang First Nation. They had so many chemical spills and so many releases and toxic releases into the community that finally we've shut them down in Aamjiwnaang community. But they've now moved to Texas, to my beautiful relatives in Texas. And so they're being forced to create a park or a health clinic or pharmacies and say that they're giving back to our communities. And we have the research and data. We have our own scientists. We have our own researchers in our communities that can tell you that it will never benefit our communities, what's happening. And it's going after our children. It's going after our next 7 generations. When we remove the children from the land from which they come, they are obstacles to the land, the water, and the resources, and our children are treated as disposable. So really understanding the impact in our communities of what's happening. The short-term investment in a lifetime of destruction is not a benefit for us, and I will not thank anyone for what they're doing to our communities, no matter how much they sugarcoat it. We have to have Indigenous solutions for the safeguards of our health. This harmful extraction from industry, we can't just move it from Aamjiwnaang to Texas and say that it's going to be a benefit for Aamjiwnaang, because if it's happening here and it's happening to our brothers and sisters across the globe, then we're perpetuating that further harm on another community. So united, we stand together, Indigenous, Black, and Brown communities in the sacrifice zones, because we are the ones that are on the land. We are the ones that are most affected. We are the solution. We have the knowledge. We know what we need to do to move forward, to break free from chemical production, from this gas and oil industry that's harming our communities for generations to come. You can see this is Texas. This is the playground in their First Nations community. There's a theme here about removing the children from the land, our next 7 generations. So it's really, really important that we look at our knowledge systems and how we can prevent this from happening. We have to be at the table. We have to be at these tables with industry polluters, with policymakers, and let them know that we are the experts in our own communities. Indigenous solutions, our traditional ecological knowledge, that has to be at the table. We have to be at the forefront of the solutions. And when we talk about our communities, this is industry's solution to wastewater management. In Grassy Narrows First Nation in Ontario, between 1960 and 1972, they released mercury into the waterways. 90% of the community today is affected by mercury poisoning. They went to their government, they went to their industry, and the pulp and paper mill is still running today. The Canadian government in 2018 finally decided that they were going to invest money in research, and they have not finished that research and data yet. So from 1960 to 72, while they poisoned our community, and we see the detrimental health effects and that 90% of the community is poisoned, still nothing is being done. So industry and corporate government that are coming into our communities are the aggressors and the oppressors, and it's still continuing today. So we have to do something, and we have to make change. Some of you may recognize this as Huntington Beach here in California. The oil washing up on the shores and the oil tankers in the background, and they said, there's nothing harmful here. It's okay, we've got this. We'll clean this up. There's no detriment to our communities, but they're wearing hazmat suits, so this picture tells a different story for many of us. So when we talk about solutions, we have to have safeguards for human health and the environment, and that means including the voices of the sacrifice zones. From the Pacific Islands to the Arctic, where it's a sink basin for plastics, where they don't even produce plastics, to Wet'suwet'en in one coast of Canada, all the way to Elsipogtog. Our communities are speaking up. We're rallying. Our hunters, our gatherers, our knowledge keepers, our elders, and we're working in science-based technologies as well, and we have to come together. And our traditional ecological knowledge has to be embedded in the safeguards and solutions. We have to address the death cycle of plastics from resource extraction in our communities and make sure that we are part of the solution and part of the change. Again, we've normalized the harm that industry is doing in our communities generation after generation. They come in to our communities, literally along our fence lines. Everything that we breathe in, everything that we absorb, everything that we feel on our skin, the headaches that happen in the afternoons is all chemical pollution. It's affecting our bodies, it's affecting our bloodstream, it's affecting what we call the lifeblood of our mother. That's our water. And that water connects us all across the world. We are not separate from our environment, we are a part of. We look at the black streaks crossing the skies, we look at the flares, things that are happening in our communities, and we know that every time we take that breath, that it's going to be chemical pollution in our lungs. And if you think that you don't need air, that you don't have to worry about this type of thing, hold your breath and tell us, how long that you'll be lasting without that air. We are a part of our environment as the human nation. And like I said, it's only the two-leggeds that have strayed from the original teachings of Creator. So we have to work together for solutions for the next 7 generations. We have to walk softly on Mother Earth for the faces that have yet to come. And my family, our little ones, they're counting on us to do this work. When we can teach our children the value of the environment and everything that Mother Earth gives to us, when we can teach them the balance and the rhythm of Mother Earth, when we can work for their next 7 generations and for them to work for their next 7 generations. And when I talk about that, I'm not talking about just Indigenous people. Talking about all of the men and women around the world and the directions that they come from, the red nation, the black nation, the yellow nation, and the white nation. We are praying for solutions for your next 7 generations too. So when we can teach our children the balance and rhythm of Mother Earth, then we've succeeded. Miigwech.